Hello there everyone, welcome back to another episode of Home Media Reviews. As I mentioned last week, this is a huge tonal shift from Violent Night. We're talking about Winnie the Pooh, A Very Merry Pooh Year. Let's not waste any time, let's jump into the history section of A Very Merry Pooh Year. So just like last week with Violent Night, Very Merry Pooh Year doesn't have a huge history going into this here. This really only has two major releases. On November 12th, 2002, A Very Merry Pooh Year hit VHS and DVD. That's right, there was no theatrical release for this movie. It was a direct-to-video film. Those are always great. Space Buddies, anyone? I have a lot of memories of the VHS version of this. I watched it primarily over at my grandparents' house. They owned the VHS of Very Merry Pooh Year. And for the longest time, my family would go over to my grandparents' house, grandparents on my mom's side. We'd go over to their house a few days prior to Christmas and open up gifts there. And I would always try to put on Very Merry Pooh Year in the background while we were opening gifts, just because I enjoyed it that much. I was also one of those weird kids who would watch Christmas specials like in June or some random thing like that. And there were quite a few times when I watched Very Merry Pooh Year in the dead of summer. It made no sense. If you ever asked my grandma, hey, what was Garrett's favorite thing to take on car rides that came from Grandma and Grandpa's house, it was Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas. I don't know why. I just really enjoyed that. It would be over 10 years before this movie would wind back up on store shelves, and on November 5th, 2013, that became a reality. Very Merry Pooh Year came out on DVD as well as Blu-ray for the very first time. I am shocked that this Blu-ray was not exclusive to Disney Movie Club. This got a wide release, which is insane. Something like Piglet's Big Movie, that Blu-ray was exclusive to Disney Movie Club, which doesn't make any sense to me because wasn't that movie theatrical? I'm pretty sure it was. But then something like The Search for Christopher Robin, okay, that makes sense to be a Disney Movie Club exclusive. It was based on a TV series. But this, why does this get a mass release? I don't understand it. Is it because it's Christmas themed and Disney loves to milk their Christmas classics every year? Hey, it made it easy to get, at least. I actually got my Blu-ray copy through the Disney Movie Rewards service a few years ago. It was one of the rewards that you could redeem points for. So I got mine essentially for free. But as far as this movie's history goes, that's it. There have been no new physical media releases here in the United States for Very Merry Pooh Year. There is no 4K of this, and there probably never will be. So that wraps up your history section. Let's move right along to the close-up. Alrighty, everyone. Here's your close-up look at Winnie the Pooh, A Very Merry Pooh Year. Up here at the top, you got your Blu-ray disc logo, the Gift of Friendship edition in a blue bar down there. There's everything that comes in the case, the film's logo, and there's all your main characters. There's Pooh, Eeyore, Rabbit, Piglet, and Tigger all in front of a giant Christmas tree. And then you got a logo for Disney Movie Rewards, and then the Disney Blu-ray logo. I really like this poster. I would like it more if it had a slipcover, though. Thanks, Disney Movie Rewards, for shipping me this without a slipcover. That was nice. The spine, there's your Disney Blu-ray logo. The film's logo again. There's Pooh taken directly from the front. And there's your product number. The back, up here at the top, you've got a breakdown of all your bonus content, as well as how your digital copy works, your barcode, blurb about the movie, a little set from, I believe that's Pooh's house, And you've got some screenshots from the movie down there at the bottom, and then technical specifications down there as well. And on the inside, we'll take a look at this in just a moment, but here is your DVD. It's the standard Disney Gray DVD, and then, oh, look over here, standard Disney Blu-ray. That's great. I hated this era, especially of Disney Blu-rays, because they put the film's title on the side of the disc and put the Disney Blu-ray logo or the Disney DVD logo at the top of the disc. Everybody automatically is conditioned to look at the top of your disc, not the side, Disney. This was a stupid choice. But anyway, and here we've got a little lithograph of Pooh and Piglet there, which I believe is the poster art for the VHS. And if I open this part up here, oh, look at that. There's some other things in here. Here's another lithograph. These actually aren't lithographs, though. These are Christmas list, or Christmas letters that you can send to Santa Claus. Look at that. Isn't that cute? They're all pretty much the same thing. We'll take a look at all these. Hang on. Oh, you've even got envelopes. Look at that. To Santa Claus, 1 Candy Cane Lane, North Pole. That's kind of cute. And then we've got whatever this guy is. Oh, it's like... Oh, is this a pen? Dude, you even got a little pen in there. You can tell this is the first time I've opened up this this little guy here. I've had this Blu-ray for years, but I have not actually looked at what's on the inside of this little package here. But I believe these are stickers? Yeah, okay, they're stickers. I thought they were tattoos at first. I was like, it's kind of weird that they're not backwards, but no, they're it's a sticker sheet. Isn't that cool? Honestly, I think my favorite part of this is the little lithograph things here that are postcards that you can send to Santa Claus. I'm going to call them lithographs because I'm obviously never going to send these to an imaginary figure that's not real. Spoiler alert if you're under the age of 5. But these are honestly, I think, one of my favorite parts of this. This is really cool for like a kid to do. I really like that. So that wraps up your close-up. Let's move right along to the menu tour. Alrighty everyone, here's your menu tour for Very Merry Pooh Year, starting off with the DVD. Our options are down here at the bottom of the screen with little animated sprites, I guess you could say, of Pooh, Tigger, Piglet, and Eeyore there. Eeyore's the least animated with just his head bobbing up and down. You got Pooh and Tigger jumping around there, that's fun. It starts you off on the fast play icon there, which is deceptive. We've got sneak peeks, setup, scene selection, bonus features, and then just play. Let's take a look at bonus features. Now we've got a song selection menu, sing along with the movie, and enchanted environment. So here's what your song selection menu looks like. You've got a play all section up there, and then you've got each of your songs listed here with a terrifying image of Eeyore. And here's some even more songs. And some even more songs. And finally, you can play the film with on-screen lyrics. You can also select that from this sub-menu here with Sing Along with the movie. I don't know why you'd need 2 menus to do that, but hey, you can do it either way. Enchanted environment. That's kind of interesting. I guess you can watch the movie with music and sound effects, or you can watch it with just the music, or you can watch it with just the sound effects. I'm not really too sure what that means. That's kind of interesting, though. Here's your scene selection menu. You have groups of 4 scenes here. You've got numbers and titles and screenshots for each. As we can see down here at the bottom, we have 10 scenes here. The end credits are grouped in with this final New Year's Eve party scene, so actually 10 scenes. Here's the first part of the setup menu where you can select languages, subtitles, or you can register your DVD. For your spoken languages, we have an English 2.0 mix, a French 2.0 mix, and a Spanish 2.0 mix. And your subtitles are exactly the same. You've got English, French, and Spanish. And then, because I'm wondering if this is going to give us a separate menu for the sneak peeks or not, let's see what happens if I press sneak peeks. Nope, no separate menu, just the trailers. And here we are for the Blu-ray menu, and you'd be forgiven if you thought I didn't change discs at all. It's the same menu. Just now everything is in HD, and wow, those sprites did not translate well to HD. That Eeyore model is looking rough. But we have the same options as on the DVD, just without the fast play feature down there. Take a look at the bonus features, and yep, it's the same ones as on the DVD. You got song, you can select the songs, you can sing along with the movie, or you've got that enchanted environment thing. Ooh, but we've also got info, so you can see what date your disc was printed. Scene selection, I'm willing to bet's the same as on the DVD. Seems like it. Yep, exactly the same. Hey, but you have a little bar over here telling you where you are in the movie along with a time code, so that's fun. Come on, setup. There's got to be something different here. Nope. The languages are the same. Same 2.0 mix for everything. Can't imagine why they would remaster this in 5.1 surround sound. It's only a direct-to-video movie after all. And the same subtitle options. Except we have 2 English subtitle options now. We have English and then English for the hearing impaired. What is this Disney intermission thing? Disney intermission begins anytime the pause button is selected. While Disney intermission is playing, select enter to return to the film. Oh, I remember this. Okay, this was a thing that Disney did back with their, like, Blu-rays from 2013 to 2015, I believe. This was so annoying, especially when I first watched The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh for the first time on Blu-ray. Whenever I would pause it, it would play like some weird video clip, and it would take forever to get back into the movie. And that's stupid. Okay, I'm going to turn that off, just because. I'm not going to watch the movie right now. I've already watched it, but I'm going to turn that off just to make a point. And then just for funsies, let's see what happens when I click sneak peeks. Hey, look, it's the same trailers. Okay, I just saved you all like 2 minutes of clicking through trailers that we've already seen. It's the exact same trailers as on the DVD, just now in HD. Oh, that wraps up your menu tour. Let's go ahead and head on back and answer the 5 main questions, as always. Alright, so we're back from the close-up. Now it's time to answer the 5 main questions, as always. Number 1, where can you pick this product up? eBay? Can't find it on store shelves anymore. Or second-hand stores, I guess. Half-price books, that kind of thing. Number 2, is this product still being printed nowadays? No. Not at all. Unless you count streaming services, because this is available to stream on Disney+. I don't, so no. Number 3, should you pick this product up? I have not seen Very Merry Pooh Year since childhood, and I had very fond memories of it. I remembered in childhood thinking this movie was hilarious and really liking it. Let's just get into my review here, because my opinion has changed somewhat from when I was 6. The movie opens with a new rendition of the Winnie the Pooh theme song sung by Carly Simon. I remember Piglet's Big Movie having the same artist sing the opening theme there too, and that being a big push for the marketing of that. There was even a music video for it on the VHS version of Piglet's Big Movie. I remember that. That then brings us into the story, where Pooh is trying to find a place to hide Piglet's present. The rest of the cast is left outside as Pooh is running around trying to do that. Love that Roo is the one to state the obvious when Pooh doesn't answer his door. Why don't we just open the door and find out? Why didn't anybody else think of that? No one locks their doors in the 100-acre wood. There's no reason to. There's no crime here. The version of Jingle Bells that all the characters sing feels like it's naturally put into the movie rather than feeling like an afterthought, because we need this to be a musical. Jim Cummings does great as Pooh and Tigger. He's the definitive voice I hear whenever I think of lines from those two characters. Yes, I know Paul Winchell is great as Tigger, and a lot of people think of his voice as opposed to Cummings, but I am not one of those people. And the rest of the cast sounds exactly like I remember them sounding when I was growing up. Rabbit's voice actually sounds right, unlike in Christopher Robin. Once we leave the framing story here, we're transported to Winnie the Pooh and Christmas 2, a 1991 television special based on the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh TV series. The animation changes noticeably. The special being animated in the old-fashioned way of cellular animation, while the new framing story was animated through digitally, I can only assume. Also, Tigger is now voiced by Paul Winchell, who I said earlier, a lot of people think is the definitive voice for Tigger. Never noticed that change as a kid. I never noticed the animation change either. It's very jarring now. It's like, wow, this animation, it still looks really good. It just doesn't have the crisp nature of the newer 2002 animated footage, which arguably does look better than the 1991 footage. Also, Paul Winchell's voice here sticks out like a sore thumb. This is going to sound rash, and I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off here, but I feel like Jim Cummings should have redubbed all of Tigger's lines for this special, as it was put into this movie, in order to keep continuity. I'm not saying go back and change all of the original releases of that Christmas special. You can still have Winchell's voice there, but for this movie, they should have had Cummings redub it. The classic Winnie the Pooh comedy is on display throughout this first half of the movie. Well, what are you waiting for? Put down a present for Pooh. He can't. Well, why not? You have the pencil, Rabbit. I didn't think I needed to see Eeyore dressed as an angel hanging from a giant tree singing la 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 la. But here we are. This is the universe that we live in. They're trying to write a letter to Santa. That's the whole plot of this first half of the story. And after the letter Pooh and the gang sent to Santa magically returns to Pooh, he decides to become Santa, believing Santa won't come without the letter. It's a really sweet gesture from Pooh, but man is it weird. Of course, Tigger buys his hook, line, and sinker. Say, isn't Sandy Claus supposed to come down the chimney? I do think it's hilarious how all the gifts that Pooh gives all of his friends fall apart instantly when they try to use them. Eeyore gets shoved in a suitcase. Tigger gets a barrel that's got a spring on it. Rabbit has a teapot with a plunger on the end. It doesn't. They were nice gestures, Pooh, but they were always going to fail. And the moment when Pooh loses the letter after saying he's going to take it to the North Pole himself was genuinely sad. The music worked really well. Cummings sells Pooh's sadness. It's the emotional low point of this original story. But, of course, Santa comes anyway because the letter magically appeared at the North Pole. Yippee. I'm sounding like such a cynical bastard throughout this entire review. The ending was filled with that classic Christmas schmaltz that I love so much. I mean, I'm not saying the ending was bad. I highly enjoyed the ending. When Pooh hugs Christopher Robin, I mean, man, someone's cutting onions in here, dude. That was, wow. That was something. After we leave the first half, we then transition into the new content for this. Merry Pooh Year makes up the second half of this movie and opens with Pooh forgetting where he hid Piglet's present and the gang celebrating New Year. Pooh? What are you doing in there? Your honey invited me in, and I didn't want to seem unfriendly. Rabbit's reaction to everyone inviting themselves to his house for New Year's is perfectly reasonable. Dude had a tsunami of honeypots wreck his entire house. No wonder he wants to move out of here. Which then leads to the gang figuring that they need to change themselves, or as Pooh says, we need a restitution to be able to keep Rabbit in the 100-acre wood. Which leads to the best scene in the entire movie, or at least the best scene of this second half, where Tigger has tied a rock to his tail in order to stop himself from bouncing, and tells Piglet that bouncing has pretty much stopped him from being afraid of anything, since Piglet's resolution is to stop being scared of everything. Piglet's reaction when he starts bouncing is genuinely sweet. I absolutely love that moment. I do think it's hilarious, though, how both of the characters basically switch personalities. Piglet is now this super confident, just bouncing guy, and then Tigger's like, "Oh, but like everything's a little scary out here." The same thing happens with Eeyore and Pooh. And I gotta say, seeing Eeyore walk around on two legs, eating honey, and those giant teeth, and a very pronounced smile, I'm not a fan of that. I don't think I needed to see that. That was just weird. It is funny, though, to hear Pooh say all these funny Eeyore lines. Eeyore's always been one of my personal favorites just because of how sad he is. It's so over the top, it's funny to me. And hearing Pooh say some of these lines is also really funny. Rabbit then tries to leave the 100-acre wood and he gets stuck in a tree, which means that the gang has to come in and save him, which of course they do. I'll never get over Tigger and Rabbit's just back and forth when he hops up on that tree and says, "Hey, you long ears, I'll be back in a jiff." That was so funny to me. But of course they save Rabbit, and then the movie ends on a really happy note. Rabbit learns that everyone's just perfect the way that they are, and he's actually the one that should lay off a bit. It was a little bit of an overreaction to just pack up and leave, man. Come on. I get it, your house got completely wrecked, but is that really a reason to just pack up and leave everything that you've known your entire life? Seems like a bit of an overreaction. That duet with Tigger and Rabbit, though, was pretty sweet. I liked that a lot. And it was filled with a new kind of schmaltz. New Year's schmaltz. Pooh even remembers where Piglet's gift was, and it's a little music box that leads to Pooh singing a really nice song about New Year. I think Gopher said it best. A bit sappy, if you ask me. Yeah, it's sappy, but damn it, I bought it. Very Merry Pooh Year is a great movie. Let's put an asterisk by that. For kids. It's got a lot of that classic Pooh humor in the first half, but loses a lot of it in the second. You can tell that these two halves of this overarching story were made in two different eras. It's more simplistic than I remembered it being, and you can tell it wasn't made for someone of my age. It was still fun to go back and see, like, what I loved as a kid, but as far as what it offers for adults today, there's not much here. I struggled with whether or not I would recommend this movie, because as it stands, there's not much here for a 25-year-old dude. I actually got a little bit bored by the second half. I feel like I was tapped out by the end of the first half. And the movie's only an hour and 3 minutes. It's not that long. I just felt like that first half with the original Christmas special was so good, they kind of just poo-pooed all over it with the second half. And the second half's not bad, it's just there's not much there to latch on to emotionally. I ultimately decided on, yes, I'm going to recommend this, but it's like a really weak recommendation. Like, it's really coasting on that nostalgia line there for me. And if it wasn't for that nostalgic curiosity of, hey, I liked this as a kid, I wonder how it holds up now, I don't know that I would ever go back and watch this again. Maybe in, a decade or two when I've forgotten it completely, and then I'm like, hey, I watched that 10 years ago, I wonder how it holds up now. Like, I guess it's just going to be a genuine curiosity thing for me, because there's just not really a lot here for me to say, yes, go out and see it now. I am still recommending it. If you have Disney Plus and an hour of free time, sure, check it out. You may find something in here that I missed. You may like it more than I did. That's a genuine possibility. I just didn't find very much in here to really latch on to and enjoy as much as the original Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, or even some of the episodes of that TV series. Number 4, where should you pick this product up? Same answers as number 1. And number 5, what price should you pay? Well, the original VHS and the DVD are not worth a lot. They pop up on eBay fairly regularly. I wouldn't go any more than $10 for either of them. The Blu-ray, I'd say, is worth about the same, possibly up to $15 for that. I don't remember if the Blu-ray came with a slipcover or not. It may have when it first came out. Mine obviously doesn't have one. I got it from the Disney Movie Reward Service. Sometimes their stuff comes with slipcovers, though. Well, folks, this is not how I wanted to wrap up the home media review for Very Merry Pooh Year. I wanted to tell you that this movie was just as smart, just as fun as the original Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh from back in the 70s, but no, it's not. The first half, though, is really fun and enjoyable, and honestly, I would recommend you go out and pick up the Winnie the Pooh and Christmas 2 VHS tape and just watch it that way. So let's do a recap of this mini-series here. The first week was an ecstatic recommendation because Violent Night is awesome. Second week, it just barely squeaked by with a recommendation. Next week's movie I haven't seen, so who knows if it's gonna be a recommend or not. I recommended the first one of this franchise because I found it really good, but let's see how Santa Claus 2 holds up against the original. That was a clever little line there. Did you get that? Santa Claus 2 next week. Bet you guys are excited for that. Thank you all so very much for watching. I will see you all then. Good night, everybody.